Good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome. So, today is a very important day because today we are starting a brand new series. This is the first episode of the road from 5K to six figures, all the way up to over $100,000. I figured I would do something like this because had a lot of people, or I've been talking to a lot of people, even people that aren't into day trading, that um, are curious about, how the results work because everybody sees, somebody that's already successful and they see the lifestyle that they live, but they, you know, don't show the fact of how they got there. And I think that's something that's really important, especially when you're on social media. There's a lot of, just uh, over exaggeration. Now, I'm not going to be the one to tell you you can't do exactly what some of these other guys are doing. I'm just putting it in the sense that it takes more work than you might think. And that's the reason why I wanted to do this. I want to show the reality of, you know, becoming a successful day trader in the markets, real person, live markets. Everything's going to be, up to date. And if, you're going to see all the good and you'll see all the bad. Hopefully there's more good than bad, obviously. But this is going to be the reality of what it's like to be a day trader. Um, but so what I mean by that is that I'm going to use this platform now. I'm not, I have to start by saying I'm not a licensed professional. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't have my Series 7's license. I cannot legally give financial advice. So, what that means is I I would get in trouble if I was to show, actual live real funds and do all of this. But that's not going to stop me from uh, showing you, how to essentially do what I'm going to do, even though it's not going to be with live funds. And how are we going to do that? We're going to do that with the paper trading aspect of it, which is just as good. Um, it's real live markets. It's going to be real trades. It's going to be real everything except for the actual money aspect of it. And you're going to see the account grow. This thing is not going to stay. This thing is not going to be changed or anything like that, or reset or whatever. And like I had originally posted on my social medias, letting people know that I was starting this, that the account balance is going to start at 5,000. The goal is six figures. And I didn't put a time frame on that. I did that on purpose just because you shouldn't have a time frame on how much you want to, or your goal is, to be completely honest with you, because when you start to put time frames on certain things, you're kind of forcing yourself, um, or trying to force your will upon something that if you try to push too hard, you can hurt yourself. And you'll get a feel of exactly, what I mean. But excuse me one second. But I'm pre-recording this video right now. I don't know if I'll transition over to live streaming. It depends on how popular this gets. If I get any views or anything like that, I don't know. I just don't know yet, guys. I just do this because I like it, and this is something that was interesting. An interesting idea that I had. Hold on, my microphone working? Yeah. Okay, cool. It's just an interesting idea that I had because I think the way that somebody asked this question and I kind of developed it into this was I asked somebody that didn't know anything about day trading if there was one thing, because everybody's interested in it. Obviously, they see, you know, people and day traders that are, on social media, and they're probably like, well, how the heck did you do that? So I asked somebody that wasn't, in the industry, doesn't know anything really about it, what's, something that they wish they understood or wish somebody would explain to them. And he gave me the answer of he wished somebody would show him how to make the most money on a day trade or day trades. And I kind of, took that answer and turned it into this, just because day trading itself, I mean, you can't on a regular basis determine whether your trade is going to be wildly profitable, little, small, or not profitable at all. That's just not something that we know as day traders. And I understand the way he gave me the answer because he doesn't know anything about it, so I'm not mad about that. But I just wanted to get another perspective and another opinion on what's something that I can create as far as content wise that is beneficial to somebody that's maybe brand new or has been doing this for a little bit and hasn't really found their way or seen any progress, or what they think is maybe progress. And what you might think is progress is, or not progress, it might be real actual progress. So anyways, I'm kind of just doing an opening monologue right now. We got about 5.5 minutes until opening bell. But basically this is just going to be me every morning, when I can, like if my schedule allows me, I'll make a video or I'll go live on a regular basis pretty consistently. And we'll document this together, guys. And if it gains more popularity, I might change some things up. But for right now, this is the way that we're going to do it. And I might, because you're going to see everything. I mean, as soon as I have, real or not real, but I'm, paper trading is still a useful tool, even though it's not technically real money. It's still the trade. I mean, it's still real live market. It's still going to move the same way. So this is the closest thing that, I could get to not getting in trouble with all the, regulations and stuff like that. So disclaimer, again, one more time before we start, not a licensed professional. This is not financial advice. Everything I say, take as my own opinion. So we will get into it today. Today is Monday. First of all, today is Monday, August 3rd. August 3rd, what does that mean? Well, it's the beginning of the month. Beginning of the month, what usually happens during the beginning of the month? Well, we usually have a crazy news event on Friday, and that would be non-farm payroll. And that is what we have this week. So didn't plan on, didn't pick this week specifically, didn't, start at the beginning of the month on purpose or anything like that. It just, so happened that finally, decided I wanted to do this, and it's going to be one of the most volatile and I would say lowest probability weeks in as far as a monthly day trading basis goes. And if you don't know what non-farm payroll is, it's just data that comes out on the first week of every month on Friday, the first Friday of every month. And it causes a lot of volatility and unsettling in the marketplace. So we'll just quickly look at the news we have for today. So 10 a.m. today, which is 9 a.m. My time. This is all in Eastern time. We have ISM manufacturing PMI, which is high impact. So what does that mean? We are going to be waiting until 10 o'clock to be able to look for something. I'm just going to let the first 30 minutes, it usually just bounces around and tries to hurt a lot of people before the news event drops. Tuesday, JOLTS jobs, medium impact at 10 a.m. shouldn't affect us that much for trading. Wednesday, we do have two. We have one, like the preliminary non-farm payroll change, which isn't high impact. It's medium impact. And then we have ISM services PMI at 10 a.m. After Wednesday morning session. So that means after 11 o'clock in the morning, or 11:30 specifically in the morning. I stop trading for the next couple days. So I do not look to trade in the afternoon, and then I do not look to trade at all on Thursday. Thursdays are one of the most uncertain price action days during this week, in my opinion, from my experience. So I avoid trading Thursdays of non-farm payroll altogether. Fridays, I'm not typically, real interested in the Friday of non-farm payroll, but I will probably get on just to take a look. It depends on, the week that I've had so far. And like we were talking about, this whole journey is based on, starting with, $5,000. It's not a large amount of capital. So why risk something that, you already have low probability in? You're not, like I said, you don't have a big cushion when it comes to equity wise. So we'll see. This is all about the journey, guys. This is all about the journey. So today we will go back to this chart right here. So today we have the daily chart. Now let me start at the weekly. So last week we closed right here. We have this big long wick right here. We are still in the upper half of this range right here. So we have not hit equilibrium of this range yet. I'll show you on another chart, but this is where we're looking at for the weekly. Daily, we did open up here during the week, and we have traded down here today. So it is currently trading lower to close that new week opening gap. 4 hour, as you can tell, it is still trading lower to close that new week opening gap. Let me see. So what I would like to see is if it gets down below this low. I'd like to see if it can't. Oh, and that was opening bell, guys. So we got opening bell. And if it gets below this low, I'd like to see it, try to attack this low, come down here, and hello. This is my dog came in to say hello. She might have heard me. Good morning. Good morning. You want to say hi to the people? Want to say hi to people? Say hi. Say hi. Can you say hi? All right. All right. Come on. Okay. So, like I said, get down to below here. I'd like to see it attack here and then here. Let me see. Let me go to another chart so I can mark some stuff. So I wanted to get the opening range gap. So this is going to be the settlement price from 4:14 on Friday to the opening price at 9:30 today. Today is August 3rd, so you're going to mark this as August 3rd. I'm going to change the color on it so we can delineate that this is today's. So I'm going to make it this color. We're going to do middle line. We're going to do black. Okay, so it was a small opening range gap, and obviously it filled it pretty much right away. What does that mean? It could mean one of two things. It could mean that this thing is about to fall out of bed, or this thing is just going to bounce around. We have news at 10 a.m. More than likely, this thing is not going to go very far, in the next 30 minutes. But I mean, anything could happen. Like I said, it's non-farm payroll week. This week has caused many traders a lot of problems. So hopefully my computer doesn't glitch out like it's starting to right now. That was good. Let me try to refresh the page real quick. Yeah, it looks like we're okay. Okay, so let's go. What am I drawing? Oh, there we go. So here, I know I just switched charts on you, and there's a lot going on right here. But we'll start on the 4 hour. So the 4 hour, we have the new week opening gap right here. I have this inefficiency marked out, which is a sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency, or bearish fair value gap. I have the midpoint delineated right here. Here's the high, here's the low. it's staying inside, the bodies are staying inside, so this is showing good behavior as far as when it comes to bearish activity. I would prefer lower prices. That's what I would be looking for. But I'm not going to be interested in looking at anything until the 10 o'clock hour. Okay. 1 hour again, guys. Mondays, typically Mondays, if it's not non-farm payroll, I typically, am very, very cautious when it comes to getting in there immediately, just because I usually like to let Monday gauge, what the week is going to essentially, look like. I usually have an idea going into Monday what I would like to see. And if I start to see that on Monday, then I will be confident in speculating and, looking at engaging. But if I don't see, or something that isn't happening what I, had an idea for on Sunday, like on Sunday night, I'll usually just, take read and watch this, which, could happen, or like I said, we could start the journey today. Doesn't matter. But this is, going to be the reality of me as a trader. You might be different. You might be confident in taking trades on today, but just to give you a different perspective, this is what I do. And what works for you, if it works for you, keep on doing it. If you're struggling with something, maybe one of these videos, you can pick up on something that can help you out with that. If you guys can excuse me for just 1 second, I will be right back. All right, guys, we are back. So typically I like to see what, the 4-hour candle, does in the opening range. And the opening range is the first 30 minutes from 9:30 to 10 o'clock, which is what I have delineated here. I know I got a lot on my charts. I try to explain it the best that I can. These two lines are London high and London low. These two lines are pre-market session highs and lows, and here is the first presented fair value gap of pre-market, which is right here. We do have the first presented fair value gap of the morning session as well, which is going to be right here, guys. Does this have a volume imbalance? Let me see. Close is 355.75, open 381. Let me see. Hold on. Open is 355.6. 355.75. No. Okay, so there is no volume balance. Okay, so here is. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. So I want to go to this chart too. Oh, mark. Okay. First presented for a value gap. Today is August 3rd. Purple. Okay. So I think that is everything that I wanted to get marked for the morning session. So here's equilibrium from when we settled on Friday to where we are now. Regular trading hours from 9:30 to 4:15. Here is the new opening range gap as well. Came down, filled it, came up, traded above it now. So now, what have we had? We have had trading on the downside and the upside with candle bodies laid down. See how this is used moving forward. Here is the weekly opening price right here. I would understand if it would be reasonable to expect it to maybe come up here and touch this or trade above it a little bit. But if it wants it to go lower, once it does trade above here, it should roll over. Or if it can't even get up to this point, I would look at that as a sign of weakness. So I got very close to this pre-market high and stopped short. Long wick on this 4-hour. Tried to trade lower outside of this 4-hour imbalance and couldn't get there. So not excited about anything yet, guys. And we got 20 minutes before we can even, I'm even comfortable looking at anything. The news at 10 a.m. is going to, tell me a lot about what the morning session is going to look like. Came up here inside the first presented fair value gap of the pre-market session, and is now, look at the bodies. Look where the bodies stop, guys. Isn't that just like incredible? And you'll saw this. I had this gray box. You can go back in the video. I had this gray box marked before the 9:30 opening bell. I was going through charts. Maybe 9:30 had already transpired, but before it had even traded up here, this was on my chart. And a lot of people are like, well, how did you know it was going to go up to this certain price? Well, you're getting to see how I know, or how I have the confidence, conviction. Let me put it that way. I don't know for sure anything. Nobody knows for sure everything. But we can, have strong conviction, especially when you've seen something or done something multiple times over and over again. Okay, so trading back up here. Let's see. I'm watching this wick right here. This is the midpoint of this daily wick right here. This daily wick, here's the midpoint. Oh. A lot of these videos, this portion, or this filler time is what I would consider it. It's going to be the most boring. Everybody just wants to get to the trade, just show the trade. But there's a lot of stuff that goes into before you take the trade, during the trade, after the trade. Like I said, whatever your situation is, you gotta structure your approach around that. And everybody's different. I did come up here and trade up to the midpoint of that daily wick and the midpoint of that 4-hour imbalance that we have right here. That's what these two lines are. And I like when two PD arrays, which is what this is what's called a PD array. P and then D stands for price displacement array. And it's a smart money concept. Here's the 8:30 opening price as well. Watching this gap right here. See if it is going to act as inversion or just going to watch the bodies. Watch it, see if it respects. Nope. So I have to get more information, guys, because this thing is respecting bullish PD arrays. This is a bullish fair value gap. But we still got a lot of time. It's still banging around up here. I'm not really that interested going along right now. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So that's the reason why I'm just sitting on my hands and I'm waiting. We could reasonably expect it to come up inside these multiple candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles. This is a bearish order block right here. Has it already hit it? Yes, it has. So we have tapped into that bearish order block. We got about 14 minutes until the news event drops. ISM manufacturing PMI. Okie dokie. Let's see. Let's see what else. Hanging around still inside the first presented fair value gap of the pre-market session. I can still see it coming up here, guys. This looks too suspect to me right now. This looks like the damage was done right here. And this looks like it is the next point of interest. And this came down into the opening range gap of the reaction out of there. Where the body stopped. A little over 10 minutes, guys. This is boring. Why don't you get to the action? Yeah, well, if you want to be a day trader, it's gonna be boring for the majority of the time, which is what you honestly want it to be. Boring is best. If you're, if you're jittery, if you got butterflies, if you're, itching, fiending, for lack of a better term, then I would reassess, the whole reason of you doing this, because that type of mindset, or that you can't, control yourself, that's emotional. And that's the one thing that kills a lot of day traders, is being emotional. It has to be, robotic. It has to be, structured. Your plan, your strategy, whatever you use to, navigate and, basically determine or make your decision, has to be rule-based. What does rule-based mean? So an example of that is with Excel, like the Microsoft Office application, Excel. Whenever you want to do like shortcuts, excuse me, I can't speak. There is what's called functions. And it's where you write equations of if this, then that. Basically, it means if one cell has a certain thing, then the other one is going to do this. So the whole example is that's how your trading strategy, needs to be. If this happens, then I do this. If this happens, then I don't do this. And if you can stick to that rule-based system, it's very hard to hurt yourself from that. Like, obviously, you're not going to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. Everybody takes losing trades. I mean, you could have, a profitable model and have 3 losing trades in a row. It's just how, this business works sometimes. But it doesn't mean you abandon your model, your strategy, because the whole process of you creating your strategy is to develop your own way of finding profitability. And how do you do that? First, you tape read. And then you demo trade it or forward test it, which means no real money behind it. I know it's, hard for people to understand. Well, I started all this to make money, but you're telling me it's gonna take a little bit before I can even put real money behind. Yeah, it's gonna take a little bit, guys. you just gotta submit yourself to that time aspect of it, because it's going to save you a lot of mental capital first, and it's going to save you a lot of real capital secondly. And I say all that because I speak from experience. I mean, I was no different than most people when I was first starting out. I wanted to make money as soon as I could with all of this. I wanted to get out of a situation that I was currently in, and I wanted to do it as fast as possible. And is that, was that wrong of me to think that way? No, but it was wrong of me to use this type of skill set and industry to validate the reason that I was doing the stuff that I was doing. Because I looked at it in the sense of, I'm a day trader. I can do this. I can, like I said, all I need is, 1 to 2 home runs, and then I'll be set. And so that's what I was, trying to do. I was trying to hit, big wins and, get the most amount, and getting the fear and greed index and the FOMO. That's what killed me. So when you think it's boring, when you think you're, not doing anything or not making any progress, that's probably when you make the most amount of progress, because the people that can't deal with the patience side of it, the people that can't deal with, letting everything come to them, those are the type of people that aren't, going to be successful with all of this. The ones that, do stick with it, do go through the process the right way, do take the time to understand everything on a very, very, very technical basis. I mean, this stuff is not, easy. I was going to use another word, but this stuff is hard, man. This stuff, it's one of the hardest things to understand because there's so many moving parts to it, and you have to be very, very flexible in making your decisions. Now, you don't have to be like changing your mind every few seconds, but to be able to understand and read price action, you got to know, or you have to understand the way the market flows. And how do you do that? You just spend time. You got to spend time. Now, there's a lot of people out there that can lend you, experience and show you certain things, and maybe that's something that I can, help with somebody. But one of the main things that, I attribute to my journey is, the experience that I've gained through all of this. And some things I can't explain. Some things I cannot explain from a technical basis that I like I can, but the only way sometimes I can explain things is that I've seen it before, I've been here, I know what to do. And that just comes with, doing this day in, day out. So we got about 3 minutes and change now. I want to go do something real quick one more time, guys, before we have the 10 o'clock news, and then we probably get pretty serious. I'm probably going to stay on here until 10:45-ish, maybe 10:50. But other than that, I'm not going to stay on here for the entire day or the entire morning session. If I don't trade today, or if I don't trade on a certain day and I am recording a video like I am right now, then the video is going to go up and it's not going to be a trade. But it's going to be a part of the series, because this is the reality of, the journey. You're not going to have a day trade every day. Sometimes day trading does not mean every day trading. It's based upon, your rules, your model, and your, skill and experience level. So trading higher up into this bearish order block. So want to see what it can do, where it's going to close. It looks like if we, in about minute 50, we're going to close in the upper portion of this. So yeah, this to me right now is not showing signs of a willingness to want to go lower for the time being. So I I like this area up here. So if we open up on the news candle, trade down into the halfway point of the daily wick and the inefficiency right here, and stay above it and showing willingness to go higher, then I would reasonably expect us to gravitate up towards here. But let me just run and do something real quick. I'll be right back. All right, guys, made it in time. We have about 20, 16 seconds. 16, 15, 14. Okay, let's look at this on the 15-minute basis real quick. There we go. There's at 10 o'clock. So we did come up and sweep the pre-market session high right here. And looks like we are gravitating upwards towards the London session high. London is 2 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the morning. So this time frame here is 2, which is the highest point between 2 o'clock and, here's the high, which is highest point between 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock. There's the low, which is the lowest part. Here is that weekly opening price right here. Oh, we'll look at the opening range here too also. So this was the price session. Hold on. Here we go. This is the opening range. First 30 minutes of trading can be a good gauge of where this thing is going to rotate towards for the day. So I'm going to get some measurements right here. We'll go to 11:30. $28,009. What do we have around that price? 945 right there. Come on. Don't freeze on that now. Here we go. 20,945. It's inside this inefficiency right here. Yeah. A little bit above this inefficiency. So, still not too excited just yet. It did close above this candle high. So this becomes a bullish order block. Let me take this away. Here's the first percentage fair value gap, and here's the whole event on this chart. Down inside this candle's wick. If we are bullish, I would like to see this thing stay above the midpoint on a closing basis. That's, 4 hours away, but still. Yeah, these just look a little bit too smooth up here, guys. So I'm going to put that right there. This will have this, which is a weekly wick midpoint. So before I get into it, with the account balance and the size that it is, right now I'm going to be using 5% of the total account balance. So 5% of 5,000 is around $200, or it is $200. So I'll only be using around $200 worth of risk starting out. And how many contracts is that? Well, we'll see here. So 3 contracts if we were to buy 3. Let's say we wanted to go along here. Stop is right there, so that's already 286, so that's already too much. Volatility is pretty high right now, so we might only be able to use 2 contracts to do it. Yeah. It is staying in the upper half of this 4-hour inefficiency, and it's also staying above the new week open gap. Come on. I don't know why this thing's being so slow. Like this. Like this. See if we can't get down into there. Maybe down into here as well. Everything down here. Yeah, somewhere maybe around here there. But I'm not interested in anything just quite yet. But it's having a hard time getting to the midpoint and also staying above the midpoint of this wick, daily wick. Hard to get to the midpoint of the inefficiency and staying in the upper half of this new week open. Oh gosh, look at that. I tried. This looks too much like a trend line. That's right there, hovering around the weekly opening price. Which y'all see that? Here's the midnight opening price also. Here is the opening range gap. Here is a old opening range gap. You can see how it's trading around there. There is the equilibrium chart. Here is a first presented fair value gap. Just look at these levels, guys. Look at these levels. It's very, very precise, guys. Very, very precise. Okay. Okay. Kind of slow, right? Yeah. Look what happened between 9:30. Now it did drop down, come back up. But it kind of just boom, all the way until first macro, which is 9:50 to 10:10. So right. Yeah. Can you get a candle body close above here? I'd like to see a barricade up here. Let me see something. Let's see. 51. Okay, guys. I'm watching this wick right here. Stay above this wick's midpoint. It didn't show a very strong willingness, like we didn't have like major displacement, so I'll just let that one go. If it gravitates higher, then so be it, but I really didn't think this warrants a willingness to go up for the time being. It can, but it's just too iffy for me right now still. It stays inside this candle, maybe comes down here and touches this. Here's this candle's wick right here, and it will mark this. Yeah, I want to see gravitate towards down here, so I'm just gonna wait. We close here, open up, create a gap right here. I might look at shorting from wherever, somewhere up here down to here. Now, what did I just say? I just made a claim about trading against, my initial bias or my daily bias, which a lot of people could say, well, that's not something you should do. Well, it's depending on your skill set, your, experience, whatever you think you're capable of doing, guys. But if it doesn't afford me an entry or an opportunity, then I'll just let it go. Like I said, we haven't missed anything. I still didn't have enough of displacement for me to feel confident also. Oh, just chilling. Yep. Watch this midpoint. I did like that. So I did like that. We can get above this high and create this fair value gap. Yep, I like that. We're going to get ready. See if we can't get an entry out of this thing. I'm going to buy it right there at that midpoint. Stop is going to be going right. Okay. So at 3 contracts is 246. Yeah, that's good. And we are going to aim for these relatively equal highs up here. Buy that. Come on. Thank you. And touch the midpoint. We have this gap right here. So let's see if it okay, I'm gonna get in with 2 right now. And if it wants it to come down here, I will add 1 more. Hopefully this thing don't run away. Looks like it's flying away. Shoot. Missed it, guys. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wait for it to come down and touch this candle right here. And I'm going to put my stop right below this low right here. That should have killed me, guys. That's TradingView's delayed execution. Well, we'll see if it kills me. Like I said, I should have been filled. Give it a couple more seconds. Let me see if I can. I might just do it manually, guys. Oh, here we go. Now that should definitely fill me. Okay, good. Alright, so we are in. So this thing comes down. I will consider putting more on. Let's see here. Okay, so it doesn't look like we're going to get another entry unless we do this. If it closes above this candle, I will roll the stop to this low and I will add one more. Yep. And buy another one. Right. Come on. Hold on. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Just give it that. Okay, so what I would like to see it do is gravitate up towards here. And then if it can get up there, I will take one off first of all. One off here. And then I want to see how it trades at that point. Get this measurement right here. And I probably will take another off right here. Oops. Nope, didn't want to add an alert. I want to add. So. Come on, there we go. Why did I measure this? Because this is a event horizon, which is a midpoint between two PD arrays. Okay. You just see this thing make an attempt to get back up there again. Okay, that's good. Watching this wick's midpoint right here. Oops. Want to see it get above there, stay above it. That's good, 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 good. Once it gets above this wick's midpoint, all right, want to see it bust through. Yep. And I'm going to roll the stop now to break even. We're going to get our first partial off here in just a second. Yes, submit yourself to time, folks. There we go. I like that. Oh, there's our first partial taken right there. I want to see it drive. Yep, just like that, guys. I should probably put the executions on. So depending on the effects of this, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take one off if it can't stay above here. And if it can't get back above this, I'm going to take another one off manually. Okay, there's that wick's midpoint. You get to show some really good strength right now, guys. Yeah, I don't like that. So I'm going to take another one off right there. Nope, well, even though that's what you got to do, guys. You got to make these decisions while you are in the trade. I didn't feel comfortable holding two on there, so I wanted to take more out of the marketplace. Right now we have okay, well, that thing's not working anymore. So we got two off around here. It's still not showing a very good willingness to go above. So right now our profit is, that one says 386, 96, about 182 realized profit. And I don't like that, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and close this trade out. And three, come on, a little high, boom. So there, I'm going to close that out right there. I'm going to be satisfied with what I made. Should be a little over 200 bucks. 235.5, guys. So, you didn't hit a home run, which is fine. We got to our first target, and what I wanted to see happen did not, so that's why we took a partial right here as soon as it was coming up there. And then another partial right here as it was dropping down, and then closed it out right here. So all in all, right there, Stop was right there. Oh, 184. Well, not terrible, but I wasn't comfortable holding for the rest of this right now, just because I missed this entry too. So that's okay. Well, there's day number 1, guys. Like I said, Mondays and non-farm payroll, I'm not really that crazy about trading. So I'm completely satisfied with this. It can go up to my target if it would like. But that'll just give me the satisfaction to know like where I wanted to gravitate to. Was I a part of it? No. Did I capture some of it? Yes. Okay. That looks like we are. Gonna punch through there. We'll stay on a little longer just to give y'all some feedback. Here we have midnight opening price. Usually if you're bullish and you're wanting to go long, when we entering below or right around there, my entry was right there. Or no, sorry. Where's my entry? Right there? Where was my entry? Yeah, right here. Right here on this candle. Boom, and then adding to it right here. Okay, I'll just stay on for a little bit longer, guys. I'm done trading for today. I got what I essentially was looking for as far as a run goes. It just didn't give me my full run, but somewhere up here is where I'm reasonably expecting it to gravitate towards. I wish I would have gotten this entry right here. Didn't. Did drop down though, right there. Which is why I added to it right there, guys. Did y'all? Oh wait, no, I added to it once it got above here, right there. That was day 1. Like I said, you'll see realized profit, $235.50. Not a home run, guys. Not a home run. But those bigger trades will come. You just got to be patient. I mean, this is a single. I mean, it was a 1.9, almost 2R if you want to consider it a double, maybe. But it was, like I said, very, I don't know what the word here is. Just go away. Sorry, guys. Let's see. I think that's everything that I want to go. Y'all saw it. Y'all saw it here first. I probably need to edit this video, so I'm going to do that right now so I can get this out as soon as possible. So, just so y'all know, entering here, exiting right there, 1.84. Stop was right here. Y'all saw it all live. And that is the start of the journey today. So I'm going to wrap this one up, and we will see you guys tomorrow. As always, be safe.